to be dancing. You got to know this song. Come on. It's a one-hit wonder. Oh, I can feel Come on, you know this song. If you don't, I'm going to laugh.
No, but why? What is it? Oh.
Magic. Come on, join me to a ride. Come on, that's a great song.
Good choice. Good choice. So to explain it.
Okay, so back in the day, this was me. I worked at a 1-hour photo lab, and back in the day, this was like modern technology at its greatest.
It was.
So the good thing is that I worked in the lab. So I wasn't really customer facing. I did work behind the counter, as you can see in the other photo, but I worked in the lab. And Saturday afternoons in the mall I worked at, it was usually really dead. And this one girl would come in, she worked Saturdays, and this song she would put on to get us going.
Really?
So she would literally this lab was really long. So she would put it on and she would dance her way all the way to the enlargement machine.
Oh, so
and then she would just sit there and she'd scream this song at the top of her lungs, and we would just be rocking out in 1991.
And so you didn't really work.
Actually, we worked a lot.
Was this like what was it called? Photo Hut or something? Was that it?
Oh, this one was one that was specific to the East Coast. It was called Econocolor. And Colin, I haven't had way too much coffee today. I just loved this song when I want to get going and stuff. That's what it reminds me of. It was kind of that pump up, let's go song.
Yeah, everyone has their song. Now you just said that and I was like, oh no, let's go. Let's go. See, that my brain just goes to like song lyrics all the time. I gotta stop that. You better start training or something.
All right. So let's actually talk LinkedIn, because that's what we're here for. So thank you for being the sidekick and letting me do this. But I just love technology. And what I realized when I was thinking about the song and that it reminded me of that was I've been like in technology world since I've been 17. So that was modern technology. And just as a side note, 1-hour photo was a very, very fascinating place because you saw a lot of things.
You did.
A lot of people, just like in social media today. And let's just say some people needed to use a Polaroid.
Right. And some of them on social media need to use a Polaroid.
Exactly. Probably should. But in the world of social media, thankfully, there's a place called LinkedIn, which is a little bit more professional. We're not, being friends with everybody. It's more of that professional platform, which I really like. And it's where people start to Google you, which is really cool. So Linda, I'm sorry, you are going to have your old picture shown here in a few minutes, but that's okay. So she's either going to be really mad at me or not. So I do know this girl by the name of Spencer Chappell. Yeah. She's kind of cool. She's a great photographer, great videographer, great graphics, great social media manager. She's kind of great at a lot of things. It's kind of irritating. Yeah. But the one thing that's good is very typical, when you Google Spencer's name, her website is one of the first things that comes up, and her LinkedIn is one of the second. So you are good there. So literally, when somebody Googles your name, your LinkedIn profile is one of the first things that comes up, which is why I'm so passionate about making sure your profile is at least completed to the ability where you have all the sections mostly complete. And it's an all-star. Faye has an all-star profile.
Yay.
So when someone comes to your profile, what's the first impression that they find? And I actually think this number's gone up. This was a number that I used probably in the fall, but I think that it's now like 690 million. I actually haven't looked at the stats in a couple of months because since coronavirus has hit us and we've been in isolation and solitude, unfortunately, social distancing, more people have gone online and a lot more people have hit LinkedIn. So it's gone way up. Unfortunately, I've received a ridiculous amount of, have you noticed, Faye, like your connections have gone way up?
Insane. And I'm like, do I know this person? Do I know?
And no one's doing any context or anything. So I actually do want to give, I'll talk about that in a second, but I hope that she's watching, but there's somebody I want to give a shout out to. But I'm going to do that in a minute. So why me? Why am I here? So yes, that's a photo taken by Miss Spencer Chapel. So I've been doing this for a really long time. I kind of weave in and out. I am literally always on top of the latest tech programs and what you can do with what. But forward facing, I'm a LinkedIn expert. So I've been doing LinkedIn probably for 6 years specifically. I think a couple of years before that, I was doing all social media. And then my wonderful business coach, Faye Chappell, said, what's your favorite platform? And I went, well, it's LinkedIn. And she's like, well, why? And I told her, and I got really excited about all the possibilities of the platform and what you can do and how you can connect with people. And she's like, well, why aren't you just doing that? I don't know. So I moved and I specialized, and it's been great because people want to know the specifics of a platform. It's actually very difficult to be that generalized person now because all the platforms are so unique, and the content that you put out on the platforms are also very unique. So thank you, Colin. LinkedIn is dating 675 million. There you go. I love my stuff. I love him.
Yeah,
I've never met him, but I love the fact that he can go get a stat for me like that.
He likes numbers. He likes numbers.
Right. Yes, he is accountant to the stars. So I did start a podcast called Link for Success. This is my second podcast. My first one was a failure. And I think you learn more from failing than you do from success. So this is why I focused heavily on this one. And I'm very proud to say that it did reach top 35. So if you want more LinkedIn information, but I love it because as I interview people, I ask them what Link for Success means to them. And it's been really interesting to see the different people's opinions and the flow of the topic and how it's going to go. But basically, it's about being together. It's about understanding how we're going to work together in collaboration, which has been a really fun thing. So everything you need to know about LinkedIn is easy as ABC. Let's go. Hey, Teresa. So I think it's fair to say, and I think Faye, you would agree with this, if they don't know you exist, they can't do business with you.
That's right.
Simple as it gets.
People are amazing that they actually think that, people know who they are.
or if you build it, they will come.
Yeah, no.
No,
That's
sort of, but yeah, it doesn't work like that.
No.
So Faye, you haven't seen my presentation on LinkedIn in a while. I've added this in. Who's the star of your profile? So I just want you guys, I know we're a little bit delayed, but I do want you to put it in the comments. Who's the star of your profile? I always love the answers that I get to this particular one. You have to think about that, Faye. Don't scream out the answer. If people have seen me talk and do this presentation, they probably know the answer. So Linda, you're not allowed to answer because you probably know the answer to this. But who's the star of your profile? So now I'm just going to, chat about nothing while we allow the comments to populate. Come on, guys. Who do you think? I know Colin has an opinion. If he says I have way too much coffee, he has an opinion. Colin, I'm calling you out. You're my stats guy. Who's the star of the profile? Because I'm going to give the answer here in a sec.
Nobody wants to answer.
No, well, Catherine's saying, I would think me. Teresa, same thing, me. Somebody else has said, I am. Same with Allison Davies, me, right? Everyone says I'm the star of the profile because it is all about me. Colin, great answer again. Love that one. My personal brand. That one's always a different one. I think, always tries to say something different. Debbie, same thing. Everyone thinks me. And Linda says she's restraining herself. So good, because you're not allowed to answer because she knows the answer. All right, Faye, what's the answer?
I don't know.
The client. The client is the star of your profile. I'm sorry, you're all incorrect because you are not the star of your profile, right? If you were the star of your profile, then you would make it me, 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 me. So yes, Allison, your ideal client, the person who you want to do business with is your star. You need to write your profile for them. You need to write your profile with them in mind. You need to know who so that you will attract. And it's okay, Catherine. She's saying dress.
Yeah. You know what, Catherine? Everyone does the same thing the first time they think about it because they just assume a profile is about you. But the truth is, why do you have a profile?
It's to gain, we want to gain visibility, but we want to talk to the person that really they're all just going to think about what's in it for me, what's in it for me. And if you're doing the brag dance and look at me, and look how awesome I is, they don't understand why they would work with you. They don't understand what they're going to get out of working with you and the problem that you're solving for them. So, Linda, I'm sorry. This is an old picture of Linda from a long time ago. This is the old look of LinkedIn, so you can definitely tell how old this is. I clearly did a screenshot first and then contacted her to make some changes on her headline. As all friends do. We do screenshots first, then tell them about the mistakes we see.
That's more fun.
It's way more fun. So great picture, profile picture is really important to have. This particular photo was taken down really quickly after I called her. Not great for LinkedIn, right? Super cute. Facebook, Instagram, not professional. We want to put that professional front forward. And of course, the spelling mistake just kind of made me shiver. Not in your profile. I'm not about being perfect. You don't have to make things absolutely spot on, but your headline is really important and you'll see why. Faye, you're in here too, but not till later.
That's okay. I understand. Or you on to her specialty, homeostatics. Sorry, Linda.
She does now. She always gets mad at me because I show that one, but then I don't show her updated one because I moved to other people.
Exactly.
So I might add that in later. So obviously having no photo at all would be like showing up at a networking event, showing up online, showing up at any of these things with a paper bag over your head. We want to build relationships with people and we want to see them. Some reason after 3 days of Faye and I singing and dancing, you're still here. But we didn't show up with a paper bag over our head.
No. Nope.
Or worse, you can use a photo of somebody else. This is not Tyler Jack. I was literally on the way to a presentation and I got there early as I always do. And I'm looking at my phone and I see that Tyler Jack has requested to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm like, so as I do, I always take my screenshot and I went into the presentation. I said, I just need to add a slide. And they're like, what? I said, I need to add a slide. I can't make this up. Like I could tell people that this happens, but this is real. So if I'm going to say that, if you're going to use somebody else's photo, don't use the prime ministers of your country.
But
people are so funny. Like seriously, this did happen to my husband. Somebody stole his photo and used it, and then they went to connect with him. I'm like, are you crazy? What are you doing? So we reported it, was taken down. It was all good. So this is what the profile looks like today. This is mine. You can see without reading, you can see that I'm a speaker because you can basically that sort of header image. And we'll go through the header image a little bit later. But the one thing that I want to focus on is sort of this top feed. You have a header image, you've got the profile photo, contact information, your headline, which I'll talk about after. There's a lot of information right here at the top. And this is what they're going to see first. So if they just see a blank photo, no photo of you, CEO of something, and no information about anywhere that you went and there's no contact information, are they going to connect with you? Is there any way that you're helping them understand what it is that you do? No. So there is a way to personalize and show you sort of the pro and the con. I have, my LinkedIn profile, linkedin.com/in/Stacey Maynard. I know Faye's is /Faye Chappell. We all like to use our names /Spencer Chappell, Linda Stanko. I know any ones that I've done, I try to use their first last name if I can, because it's about you and your brand. As you can see, Damon's profile is not that. This is the standard that LinkedIn puts out. So you can just edit public profile on the top right-hand corner, and you can edit this URL. It looks good when you're putting it out on business cards, any marketing material, your website, profiles, anywhere that you're putting your link to your LinkedIn. It's really important to have a clean link. I just think it looks better. And then you can put other websites in there. Oh, I just realized I need to update mine. I haven't looked at this. I need to put my On Point profile up there.
That's right.
It's not there. I just realized it's not there.
Bad girl.
Right?
Yeah.
I also like to be able to get a hold of people. I get a lot of pushback around putting your phone number and your email address in this section. I want to be able to get a hold of you. If I want to do business with you, please make it easy for people. Make it easy so they can contact you. You don't want them having to search. And I know you can send a direct message, but not a lot of people are on LinkedIn all the time. They might miss your direct message. You know, if they don't have their direct messages set up to email you, it just doesn't work. So I like the fact that people can literally pick up the phone and call me. What a concept. They can text me. They can go to any of my websites. Obviously, I can add one more to that. So this is an old one of Faye's, actually. I think you've updated it since this.
A little bit.
However, sorry?
It's kind of the same, though.
Yeah. And this is really what you do. So what I want to do here is what I like about this particular headline is it follows the formula that I want to show you, which is what you do. Sorry, who you are, what you do, and who you help. I just started with the second one instead, and I screwed myself up. So who you are, what you do, and who you help. So who is Faye Chappell? She's an award-winning business and life strategist. She's a leading expert in speaker training. She's an author, speaker, and podcast host. And now we can add founder of On Point Mentors onto that as well. So she's a lot of things. And within her headline, which follows you everywhere, and this is why I just want to spend a little bit of time talking about it, your headline follows you everywhere, meaning if you connect with somebody, your headline is there. If you make a comment on a post, your headline is there. If you come up in a search that somebody's looking for, your headline is there. If you like anything, like whatever, no matter what you do, if you connect with somebody, your headline is there. So your headline follows you everywhere. And it's 120 characters on desktop because of a hack that I don't think it's a mistake is what I've read. But we get to take advantage of LinkedIn's mistake is that it's 240 on mobile, which is why Faye has a longer profile, a longer headline rather than just that 120 characters. So I encourage you to go to your phone and update your headline on your phone. And that way you'll get a few more characters, which is kind of cool. So Faye Chappell's a lot of things. We could literally have just continued with her laundry list, but I wanted to focus on who she helps and how she helps them. So she helps blank bring their vision to reality. That's what she helps them do. And then the who is organizations and entrepreneurs. So if you're not an organization or entrepreneur, or if you're not a coach or a consultant or anything along those lines, then Faye might not be the best person to talk to. Faye might not be your person.
No.
I have bad news. Not everybody's your person. And that's okay. It doesn't matter. There's lots of people out there, but they need to know immediately what's in it for them and who you work for. So understand that, go back to your headline and think about what that might look like in your world. So like I said before, the headline, header image, is one of the more important aspects as well, because it's an amazing piece of visual real estate. So Colleen, who also knows that I use this in my presentation, for people that allow me to use theirs, she doesn't have one. So we don't know what she does. We don't know who Colleen is. We don't know anything. And I've gotten a lot of compliments on mine because they immediately know that I'm a trainer. They immediately know that I'm a speaker. They immediately know that I'm some sort of expert in something that I obviously attract a large crowd. So that's, you don't even have to read anything to understand that. Now, I did add some words onto it because my link for success relates to my podcast, but I also added in, that I do podcast training, LinkedIn training. I'm a podcast producer, I'm a live stream producer. It kind of gets hard to kind of put it all in there. And then, of course, I also help the same demographic that Faye does, entrepreneurs and organizations, but I strategically established their online voice. So that's sort of a tagline that I used. So Catherine's asking, how do you determine what to write if you're in a transition? Then you need to keep it a little bit more general. Catherine would be my suggestion to that, because once you get a little bit more specific, you can start to specify down. So think about your personal brand and think about the generalities or the type of person and brand that you have and the type of person you might want to work with. Then as you become more specific in what you want, what you're doing, then you can add more information in there and be more specific. Hope that helps. So LinkedIn did add a really cool new feature called Featured back in February. And it was actually really interesting. I got an email this morning and it literally said, has LinkedIn lost its way? And because LinkedIn has now offered this new feature, I'll show you what it looks like, but basically you can add posts, articles, images, media, links, videos, you name it. And the love about it, I get really excited. What I love about it is when you click on it, it immediately takes you external to LinkedIn and takes you right to that site. So if you were to click on this first image, Link for Success podcast, it would take you to my podcast page. You used to have to go and kind of jump through a few steps to get there. So I love the fact that they added this and other things that are coming. LinkedIn Live is coming. LinkedIn Stories are coming. They've got GIFs and stickers that you can put on videos. So they've kind of tried to add in, I don't know, maybe too much to be like the other guys, because I don't think they need to be like the other guys. So there's lots of pros and cons there. I don't know. What do you think about LinkedIn Stories?
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned that it's going to, go the route of Facebook and Instagram.
I know.
Don't you find the one thing about LinkedIn that I like is that generally speaking, the information you receive is usually good. But now there are people like blabbing about their morning breakfast on it, and it's really bothering me.
I know, and a lot of people are going live on LinkedIn. Exactly that. They're kind of having breakfast with or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe that's why they're slowly rolling it out. But the stories, I think, are going to be a little dangerous because, again, they only live for 24 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
I don't think very many people, except for you, log on to LinkedIn every day, right? A little bit of a different piece. And I don't know. I just think, I wish there was some way you could tell people not to post certain things on LinkedIn, but.
No, and it's getting casual. And I don't mind the casualness. I don't mind people bringing in some of their personality, because I think we need to get to know the person behind the profile and bring in their personal brand. But absolutely, it needs to be kept business related. Thank you, Catherine. It's so true. Like, we don't need to talk about our family vacations and what we had for lunch, and
no,
it doesn't matter. And we get into the experience section. My biggest advice here is to complete it.
Yeah.
You can add more media, links, that kind of stuff towards the bottom. It just makes your profile a little bit more interactive and a little bit more kind of like that visual aspect. When you're kind of scrolling through, you see a bunch of words. I kind of call it a pattern interrupt, because it kind of stops you from reading and you can look. Plus you get to watch a video. People don't read anymore. I don't think you have to put like thousands and thousands of characters here. Yeah, you can. But the links in the media are definitely more important, because that's what people want to see. It basically brings your profile to life and it gets you to see you kind of in action. So there's lots of other aspects of your profile. I encourage you to look at your profile and make sure you have everything completed, from education to skills, to endorsements, to recommendations, to projects and publications and awards, honors, organizations you're part of, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's lots of different, but I wanted to kind of give you the bulk of the more important aspects of your profile. If you have completed sort of the sections I've just gone through and now just continue through, can you add a new section, and what does that look like? Just make your profile complete. That's all I'm asking. The who is the other aspect. We talked about the who when it comes to writing your profile and what does that look like, but also the who you should be connecting with. That's really important as well. So Teresa's asking, is it a good idea to have a separate page for my podcast? Also have it included. So you can create a page, Teresa, if you want. I probably would do something similar. You can have a landing page on your website for your podcast, but I wouldn't encourage you to have a business page on LinkedIn for your podcast. No. Because I don't even recommend company pages. They're actually just called pages now on LinkedIn. I don't use my company page. I have it. It sits there. I think I'm the only follower of it, but I don't post content there. So Teresa, you can incorporate it as part of sort of a job experience on your profile, and then have a separate page on your website that you can direct people to so they can see all your episodes. So how will you find your prospects? Again, like we said before, it's not if you build it, they will come. Yes, when you start to update your profile and you make sure that those keywords are in there that make sense for your business, you will be found. But we don't want to leave it to chance. We want to be proactive and actually find your prospects. And some people try to be cutesy. We love this. I know Faye and I have talked about this many times in the past. They try to be cutesy with their standout online. Yeah. I love I want to be a mortgage angel or a social media ninja. What are some crazy ones you've seen in the world?
Oh God, they're like for me, it's always the goddess ones always bother me. I'm a goddess or a goddess or, you know, like, I mean, be careful because people aren't sure really what you are. And
no, and they're not searching for it.
Right. You can have a tagline like that, right? The difference is your tagline should be, you know, if you want to call yourself a business goddess, cool, that can be your tagline, but that shouldn't be your professional brand or your professional job title.
Exactly, because what comes up is your experience, and in your about section, this is where they're pulling those keywords. And if you don't have, like, if you're a mortgage agent, say you're a mortgage agent. If you're an accountant, say you're an accountant. I know what that means. And people try to stand out online too much.
Yeah. Nobody's going to search goddess when they're looking for like business help, or nobody's going to search, you know, ninja, like, which is, they're cool taglines. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying not to use them. You just have to use them in the right place. That's all.
Exactly. Because unfortunately, with LinkedIn, and I want you to be found, because last time I checked, I think a lot of you might want to make some money using this particular platform. What a concept. You need to fit into searches, meaning that people need to find you in the search, or you also need to find that person. So if you're looking for somebody, again, you know, in the title field is a really great way to put in keywords. You can search by location. You can search by connection. Anything you want, you can pretty much search. This is all for the free version, by the way. I don't have Premium or Sales Navigator. But again, going back to titles, you know, I could just put in something really general like marketing. But if the best person I'm looking for is a marketing ninja, I'm probably not going to click there or find them, for that matter. So be a little bit more specific. Think about how people are looking for you and make sure that that's part of your profile. But you can also reach out to the people you're looking for here, and you can actually ask them to connect with you. This is about building your network as well. It's about being proactive, finding the people that would make sense for your network and asking to connect with them, which is why it's really important to include that personal note. I put a post out on my Instagram about a month ago that said, I've received about 50 to 60 connection requests in the past month. Guess how many actually sent a personalized note? 2. Mm-hmm. And this is where I want to give a shout out. I don't know if she's on right now, but her name is Mariola. And she literally sent me a note and a personalized connection request and said, hi, Stacey, we've met at women's networking events a while ago. I look forward to your presentation on Monday. Perfect. Exactly. Like, I love that. Number one, she sought me out. She did her research on who was going to be speaking. She sent me a personal note with context around who she is, how she knows me, and why she wants to connect. And she says, I am on. So we don't see her name right now, but that's okay. But I just thought that was really, really cool. So yes, I will be accepting your connection request. I was not doing that yesterday, and I was preparing for this morning, so I will be on it. But I thought that was great. I thought that was a great note, and I rarely get that. And I'm at probably about 200 in all seriousness in the last few months. Yeah. And I can count literally on 2 hands how many personalized connection requests I've received. And I'm just really want to emphasize this because it kicks off the relationship on the right foot. She's already kicked off the relationship on the great foot because I have something to respond to, and we can actually start to build a relationship as opposed to just clicking connect. You have nothing to do. So
yeah, please don't send out generic requests that you want to sell something when it doesn't relate to me or the person.
No,
like I get a lot. Like if somebody sends, like I got 4 last week that wanted to help me with my business strategy.
I love that.
Maybe if you'd read my profile, you would have realized I would have needed your help. So
the ones I get a lot are, oh, I see you have a podcast. I produce podcasts.
yeah,
great. So do I.
Yeah, so like really like pay attention and read somebody's profile before you actually send them out. I know most of them are just auto-generated ones that they've been, they basically scraped lists and sent out, generic emails, but it's not very cool.
Actually, it was really interesting because I received one from a girl by the name of Stacy, and her name was spelt the same way I do, which is rare. So she invited me to connect with a professional connection request, but I don't know her, and sometimes I say yes to that and sometimes I don't. But in this particular case, I'm like, hey, she has the same name as me. Click. And so I clicked accept and I'm like, oh, hey, we have the same name, like, Stacy, like whatever I said, something semi-professional and I thought was funny. Yeah. And the next message that came back was a sales pitch. And I go, oh my God, she's an automated system. So I just disconnected. Yeah. Yeah. I was really disappointed in the fact that she wasn't there for a legitimate reason. Yeah. So the question on the screen is about, first of all, yes, adding qualified connections and adding them on a regular basis is crucial. That's what we're here to do. We're here to grow our network. Lots of pros and cons around the follow versus connect button. I changed mine to the follow button because I was getting a lot of requests from people I didn't know. And I had a lot of people who wanted to also not necessarily connect with me. They just wanted to follow me so that they could see what I was up to. And after a while of people following, they end up connecting with me because of the content that I put out, et cetera, et cetera. So I like to have the follow button. You can, obviously it's there so people can just see my profile and they can click follow. That's my philosophy. Lots of pros and cons on that. I have fellow LinkedIn experts who also say that they would rather have the connect button because they want to grow their network. I get about half and half. I get more people, some people following me and some people want to connect with me. So I hope that answered your question. So in regards to content, put it out. It is about content. LinkedIn is about content. It's not just, for Facebook and Instagram. I think the problem that a lot of people seem to have is that they're not sure what type of content to put out. And understanding that LinkedIn is not the same as Instagram and Facebook. Again, we're not showcasing our family weekend or whatever. Faye had some great grilled vegetables outside last night and she posted it on Instagram, which was great. And I think it was on her Instagram story. That's not an appropriate content for LinkedIn. Think about the business professional. Think about what they're looking for. Be of value to the person that you want as part of your network, right? It's all about value generosity. I did not mean for this to rhyme, but I can do the rhyme. Don't post a pitch, build relationships. I'm hanging out with my rapper son too much, so it's not good. But you're there to provide value. You're there to provide business value, links to articles that are of value, videos that are, filled with valuable information. Don't try to hold that stuff back. What tips can you give them? Is there a behind the scenes in regards to your business? What can you do? Because remember, all they're going to think about is what's in it for them. So again, focusing right back at the beginning when I said that the profile needs to be written with the client in mind, your content also needs to be distributed with your client in mind. What are they looking for? What type of content are they looking for? And what's of value to them that they're going to take notice of? Because the engagement on valuable content, if you're just throwing stuff out there hoping it'll stick and somebody might like it, is not necessarily a good strategy. Lots of ways that you can post content on LinkedIn. You can share articles and photos and videos, and pretty soon we'll be able to go live. Video is really key. I mean, we're proving that even through this process, the engagement that you get on live video is huge. Even just regular video, I can't tell you enough. Video, and more video. Video content is key. It gets reach the algorithms it happens for. So who knows about this particular strategy? We know who Gary Vee is. A lot of people do. If you don't, you can go Google him. That's not what I'm asking. It was so funny. I'm like, has anybody heard about this strategy? And I get so many people in the audience raising their hand and I go, well, what does the strategy mean? And they go, I know who Gary Vee is. Great. So do I. Oh,
Yeah.
So Faye, what does the strategy mean?
It means that you don't have to spend a lot of money.
It's only $1.
I can't, hold on. Can you? I'm
Yep,
sorry.
you're good.
You can. It's just cutting out.
Yeah, just cut out for a second with you.
I can't. Sorry, Stacy. I can't hear you.
That's okay.
Hold on.
All right. Keep talking. Okay, she's saying keep talking, but I'm fine. I can hear you okay. But anyway, the $1.80 strategy. Anybody know what the $1.80 strategy is? I actually want to hold off because this is really important. A really important way to be very strategic with your activity on LinkedIn. So Faye, are you back? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. And I can hear you.
Excellent.
That worked out really well. So Faye, what is your interpretation of the $1.80 strategy other than it's only $1.80?
It's only $1.80. It's really looking at the trending posts, right? The trending posts and hashtags. And that's what you're commenting and focused on, as far as I can remember from Gary Vee's speech.
Well, you did share a stage with Gary Vee, but at that point, he was not as big on LinkedIn as he is now. So I was very happy to see when he put this out that he's been really promoting LinkedIn as a great platform to be on.
Well, it's interesting because at the time, and I think you can tell we're live because we're just having a chat, because he had this was his initial strategy for Instagram.
Yeah.
Right? Because that was his Instagram strategy, where he basically said, you leave your 2 cents worth on 9 different posts, right? Is that right?
Yeah, your 2 cents worth on 90 posts.
90 posts, yeah. So it was an Instagram thing, and now I guess he's moved it over to LinkedIn, which it works both ways, so there's no problem. But it was like it's basically spending $1.80 of your time, right? Your 2
exactly.
Cents.
Your 2 cents worth is your opinion. So that's putting your 2 cents worth in. And I think this is kind of the challenge that people have, is that they go, okay, I'm going to do my profile.
Right.
And then I'm going to connect with people. And then I'm going to go on my third-party schedulers and make sure that LinkedIn's kind of in the mix so that I can just, post to all of my platforms. And that way I don't have to go onto LinkedIn. And what I really like when I saw this about Gary Vee is the emphasis around commenting on other people's posts.
Yeah.
And the algorithm shows true that commenting on other people's posts will give more value and will give you more visibility than actually sharing that post out to your network, because they're already going to see it when you comment. So the engagement of that post goes up. Your visibility for that particular post goes up. Your visibility for the other people that have commented on that post. Your visibility to the person who posted that particular post. Like, it's amazing what you can gain from just putting a comment in.
Can I just comment too, is the fact that there's a strategy. So this is a commentary strategy. Again, it started on Instagram, so I knew more about it. But there is someone else who does Instagram training, and they train you to the reason how you get followers is to like 3 posts of somebody on Instagram, and then they'll see that and they'll follow you. That's so scammy, because that it's just a technique that somebody learned. They don't comment, they don't read it, and if they did comment, it's always like brilliant post, and like you're like, well, that's not a brilliant post, so why are you commenting? Right?
And commenting, thanks for sharing, doesn't put your 2 cents worth in. So it's adding value to that topic.
Right. So I know Teresa's saying it's cutting out. Yeah, that's why I was actually changing my my internet from regular to 5G to see if it would work. I don't know. We never know whose internet it is. So
I know, it's crazy, but yeah, it's a great strategy. So, when I ask the question, when you put out content, do you want other people to engage on it? The answer is yes. Well, you need to invest your time and engage on other people's posts, which is exactly this, making a comment, a valuable comment. Now, do I want you to do 90 posts a day? I'm going to be realistic. I'm going to say that ain't happening.
No. Gary.
Yeah, well, Gary has a team of people,
right.
and I know he does a lot of his own stuff in regards to that, but I can't.
No.
So I think I need to bring this down to some sort of normal level.
Yeah.
I don't know how many posts but I do try to engage on multiple posts in a day. So now the whole concept is that's great. We're all staying on LinkedIn, having a little LinkedIn professional party. But again, we do need to make money. So we do need to convert these people over. So I know that a few people have seen me talk before. And Linda, again, you're not allowed to answer. This is pretty torture for her. She knows the answer to this one as well. I think Allison Davies has heard me speak before, so I'm sure she knows the answer to this as well. Put in the comments, what's the point of social media? And Faye, I'll give you a couple minutes, but I'm going to ask you what you think the whole point of social media is. And I'll give you some typical responses that I get. To connect with people, to build relationships, to be social.
To show what you're having for dinner.
To show what you're having for dinner. To engage with people, to reach more people, to sell. I always get that one, which I think is always interesting. We don't sell on social, just so we're clear. Linda's mad because she can't answer. That's okay. There's some other ones that I get. To network.
No one's supposed to.
I'm just going to wait a few minutes because what ends up happening is just the delay from when we're talking. There's a delay that goes over to the group.
Yeah.
What are some other ones that I get?
The ones that say it's meaningless. It's just a way to waste time.
Yeah, a time waster. I will be frank by saying that TikTok is an incredible time waster in my life, but fun.
Yeah, and I think you will be sucked down that rabbit hole. So just be careful, because I think the first time you're on TikTok, you can't get off.
It's too hard. I actually started really focusing on my following feed versus my For You feed.
Yeah.
Because my following feed, so we're getting some answers here. So some people are saying to stay current and connected. Actually, it's probably one of the better answers I've received.
Yeah.
Exposure, same thing. Typical to be able to get yourself out there and for people to know who you are. I get that question or that answer a lot because, of course, I said if they don't know who you are, they can't do business with you. To be known as an expert in your field. Yeah. So that's exposure and for people to know who you are and to sort of be that influencer. Faye Chappell, what is the point of social media? Do you know the answer?
Other than telling everyone that I have a new Buddha and I'm posting my dinner. Social media to me is real simple. It's for people to understand who you are and what you do and what you offer, and don't waste their friggin' time.
And don't waste their time. Exactly. Okay. So the whole point of social media is to get off of social media.
Right.
You cannot, and I know that Facebook Marketplace is coming. However, we are not able to physically purchase a product or a service unless you get off of social media. So if somebody wanted to hire me to produce their podcast or produce their live stream or have a coaching session, learn more about LinkedIn, whatever the case may be, we need to physically get off of social media so we can have a coaching call. You need to get off of social media to a link to go to my website. You need to get off of social media to go to my booking link where you can see my products and my services and the costs associated with them. You need to book that off of social media. If I have a service or an online program, you need to get off of social media in order to go there. If you want to check out my On Point profile, you need to click off of social media in order to get there where you can actually book my time. If there's a product, you need to get off of social media. You need to click through, buy it, then it'll physically come to your house. If you have an event back when, hopefully in the future, when we go back to physical in-person events, you need to leave your house, get off of social media, go in your car and drive in order to do that. We are on social media today to be able to deliver you this training, but all the rest of the conversations happen off of social media.
And we are not wasting your time.
Exactly. So really important to think that way. So to kind of sum everything up together, to put it into, as Faye likes to say, with a pretty little bow, for you. This is all the things that I want you to do in regards to LinkedIn. I need you to go to your profile and make sure that it is complete and have all the sections completed that you possibly can. And that all the sections not only just put there as in an experience, I worked at this job from this date to this date. Explain what you did at that job as it relates to your world today. What are those learnings? What are those accomplishments that you've received? You need to connect with people, growing your network. Someone asked earlier, yes, you need to do that on a daily basis. Your profile, you don't need to do on a daily basis. You need to complete it. And then if something changes, you can update it. So you don't have to go all the way back to the beginning, but connect with people every day, understanding who you need to connect with. Then you need to produce content, articles, photos, videos, text-based posts, tips, whatever the case may be. I can't emphasize video enough. And when LinkedIn Live comes, I will be doing LinkedIn Lives as well. I don't know if Faye and I will be singing and dancing on LinkedIn Live. Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. And then remember that $1.80 strategy. So the listening strategy is really key to be able to bring it in, comment on other people's posts, go through your feed. It could be on your phone, on your computer, whatever the case may be. But go through your feed and make sure you're engaging on other people's content, both for visibility as well as engagement on their posts. The direct messaging comes in as you transition them off of social media. Maybe you have something of value that you can offer to your connections. It's okay to send those direct messages to people if it's a valuable.
Allison, be careful what you wish for.
Be very careful what you wish for.
We're not shy.
Apparently not. So yeah, sending direct messages. Again, the biggest no-no is when you connect with somebody that you immediately send them a sales pitch. No, we're not sending sales pitch. We're sending them a direct message. You know, would you like a coffee? You know, I'd love to talk to you over the phone or over a video conference to learn more about your business. Or I have this free something that I'd like to give you. Or I saw this article. I thought it'd be valuable to you. Start to build a relationship so that when you lead them to, hey, would you like to go offline and chat on the phone or via video? They say yes. You take them offline. That's where you can have a deeper conversation with them, perhaps start to sell them on your services, and you repeat. You continually do that on a regular basis so that LinkedIn will work for you. Unfortunately, I hear so much about the fact that LinkedIn doesn't work for people because they build a profile and then they go into the field of dreams world where if you build it, they will come. That doesn't work. Okay, well, I've got all these connections, but no one's engaging with me. Well, that's because you're not putting out content for them to engage with.
Right.
You're not using LinkedIn. You're just building it and connecting with people. And then you're not going through the whole concept of that lead generation, which is bringing people in, sending them direct messages strategically, not robotic, and bringing them offline and continue to do that.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest hurdles that most people are always worried about is I can't do all that. I can't put all that content out. I don't know what to say. And the key is not worrying about that. Like send out your message and how you can add value, but don't worry about, I think people get too caught up in what do they want to hear as opposed to what do you want to teach them? Like, what do you want to teach somebody that'll add value, right? You know, you can't worry about, you know, is this going to get the most engagement? The most engagement is going to be from you actually sharing something that you know, right?
And of value. Yeah, exactly.
So,
and you know what? My son, my 14-year-old son, I always talk about my older one, but my younger one is doing exactly that. He's not paying attention to the numbers. He's putting out content, very, very valuable content. His main focus is Instagram. And now he's starting to see the increase in numbers. Yeah. So he's starting to reap the rewards because he's not focused on that, but he's consistent. He's consistently putting out content every day, multiple times a day, and he's growing his visibility. He's taking advantage of the consistency that needs to happen. And that's, I think, what a lot of people miss out on.
And so don't post just for posting's sake, right? Like don't post so I don't know if I'll give you just an example so you guys can understand how easy it is. You know, we just talked about me posting a picture yesterday of my dinner. right? Which was on my Instagram story. It wasn't on my post because it would be weird. I don't like people who post their dinner on their post because that's different. That's kind of static. Your story goes away in 24 hours. But then I did a post exactly the same time, and it was me and my Buddha, and it was talking about having dinner by yourself. And it was talking about it's okay to cook, cook for yourself, have a nice glass of wine and sit there and enjoy your dinner when it's only one of you. And so the key for everyone to understand in that is I didn't really get it for a long time because I thought you had to post. And then my daughter, who is a social media manager, said to me, you can post any picture, but you need to tell something in that picture. Tell a story that will help someone. So every time I post, when I posted last night, I said, okay, I'm going to tell people that it's okay to cook for yourself and enjoy a dinner on your own. And that was my message. So I'm very cognizant now of when I make a post. I didn't have to think about it. And I didn't have to plan it out, and it was just random. So don't worry about whether you have this big strategy or not. Just say something that's of value. That's all.
So Allison's asking about the big difference between content on Facebook versus LinkedIn. And Allison, the big thing to understand is that on Facebook, we have people who are like, when I'm on Facebook, I'm chilling in my backyard, I'm watching TV, I'm flipping through Facebook, and I have this combination of personal and business. So sometimes I'm seeing people's vacations, kids' birthdays, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And then pops in a business thing. So I have to switch gears, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's okay, but I'm not really in the mood to talk about business right now. I'm just scrolling through. But on LinkedIn, when people are on LinkedIn, they're in a business mindset. So they're thinking business, they're thinking business strategy, they're looking for valuable information, they're constantly looking to increase their professional connections. So think about that piece in regards to content. Facebook can be a little bit more casual sometimes, but LinkedIn, it does need to make sure that it does satisfy that business mindset. So I hope that helps. Anything to add?
No, should I talk about Friday? Are you almost done?
We're almost done. Just have one more question. So is there a limit to how many people LinkedIn will get you to send invites to? I believe the answer to that is around like 500 or something crazy. It's a huge limit. But if you have an automated system that's going to be doing it, you will get flagged and potentially put in LinkedIn jail simply because you're sending out so many requests, and the automated system can send out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. If you're doing it properly and sending a note, you won't reach the limit. I think you're good. So it's all good. So, and Colin is adding some value here as well. Hi, everyone. I've sent out invites to people who I can find are second degree, third degree. Hope to connect and share ideas and value. So he is trying to connect with the people in the group, which I thought was awesome. So good for you, Colin.
Good for Colin.
Yeah, look at him being all proactive.
That's why he wasn't commenting earlier. He was busy looking for people on LinkedIn.
Exactly.
A little keener there, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So good job, though. Good job, Colin. I respect.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's going on Friday?
Okay, so you guys joined us last Friday, so we're coming back. So it's our happy hour Friday at 7:00. So hopefully you guys can meet it. We're gonna do a live Q&A. Anything you guys want to ask us. Might do a little singing, maybe a little bit of wine. 7:00, but then at 8:00 we're gonna do an hour on Facebook, and then at 8:00 we're gonna invite you to very cool little networking thing online. You're not going to spoil the secret yet. So make sure you come here at 7. If you can't make it, come anytime between 7 and 8 and grab the link from this group. And then at 8:00, we're going to shift over to this new exciting little platform that we're working on. So
so cool. Like I'm not going to say anything about the name or anything, but just imagine, like literally, truly networking and having conversations just like you were in a real room with people. It's so cool.
Yeah. And with everybody, not just like little,
with everybody.
or anything. So it's going to be really fun. So make sure you can join us. Bring your singing voice, a glass of wine. we'll be. It's okay for those who you different time zones. You can bring your coffee.
Exactly. We're calling will be asleep.
So anyways, hopefully you'll see us there, 7:00. And then next Monday, so remember, we're doing live training every week. So let's tell them about the next 2 weeks. So on Monday, for those of you who are coaching or consultants or in the service industry, we're going to do a whole training on what you need to talk about in a discovery session, because I know it's big for a lot of you. So some of you who are just moving into coaching and consulting or service, and you offer a free little 10 or 15-minute call and you just don't know what to say. And you don't know how to steer the conversation. So we're going to do that next Monday. It's a little mini version of a masterclass that we do. And then the following Monday, remember every Friday, though, we're doing our little Q&A. But the following Monday, Stacy's back and drum roll.
So I've had a lot of questions around tech setup. So what program are we using? What microphones are we using? Lighting, all of that kind of stuff. So I just kind of do a little bit of a walkthrough on what you need to make sure that your live stream looks professional.
Yeah. And you have nice lighting.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you on Friday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.